Intro. Imagine a world where your every word, every thought, every feeling is twisted into a weapon against you. Where the person you trust the most becomes the architect of your emotional prison. This is the dark art of manipulation. A sinister dance mastered by narcissists who don't just want your attention. They want to control your entire reality. Today, on Revenge Black Box with Mel, we're diving deep into the shadows of human psychology to expose how narcissists trap their victims. How they weave invisible chains out of charm, lies, and psychological warfare. This isn't just about toxic relationships. This is about survival, empowerment, and reclaiming your mind from the clutches of a master manipulator. Stay with me, because what you're about to learn could save your life, or the life of someone you love. Chapter 1. The Mask of Charm. How narcissists lure you in. At first, they seem like a dream come true. Charismatic, confident, endlessly captivating. Narcissists often possess an uncanny ability to read people, to sense their weaknesses, needs, and deepest desires. They don't just enter your life. They invade it, under the guise of affection, admiration, even love. This is called love bombing. An overwhelming flood of attention and compliments so intoxicating, so flattering, that you might swear you've found your soulmate. But here's the twist. This isn't genuine care. It's a calculated tactic designed to disarm you, lower your defenses, and make you dependent on their approval. Studies show that narcissists use charm as a form of psychological camouflage, a mask to hide their true intentions. But beneath that dazzling exterior lies a hunger for control. They crave admiration, yes, but more than that, they need to bend you to their will. They want you to feel so special that you never see the cage closing around you. Perhaps you've heard the phrase gaslighting before. It's a form of emotional manipulation where the narcissist makes you doubt your own reality. But before gaslighting even begins, the narcissist traps you with something far subtler: idealization. In this phase, everything about you glorifies your newfound partner. They mirror your likes, your values, your dreams. You feel seen, truly seen, something rare for many of us. This creates an emotional dependency that's difficult to break because it feels like love. But it's a trap. The danger? Once the narcissist has you hooked, the mask slips. The charming facade gives way to control, criticism, and emotional abuse. Chapter 2. The Cycle of Abuse. Devaluation and discard. After the honeymoon phase, the true nature of the narcissist emerges through a destructive cycle psychologists call the abuse cycle: idealization, devaluation, and discard. During devaluation, the narcissist begins to tear down everything they once praised about you. Suddenly, your quirks aren't cute anymore. Your opinions are wrong. Your feelings are invalid. This shift is disorienting. You're left wondering, did I do something wrong? Am I losing my mind? And that's exactly the point. Narcissists deliberately undermine your self-esteem to make you more dependent on their approval. They create chaos in your emotional world, uncertainty and confusion, so that you cling harder to the one person who initially made you feel whole. But here's the terrifying truth. The discard phase is the final nail in the coffin. The narcissist may suddenly abandon you, sometimes cruelly, sometimes silently. You're left shattered, questioning your worth, desperate for answers. Why did it all end? Was it something I did? The narcissist may return later, perpetuating the cycle, only to trap you deeper. Psychologists call this trauma bonding. It's a powerful psychological phenomenon where victims form emotional attachments precisely because of the abuse. Addiction-like bonds that are almost impossible to break. Subscribe reminder. If you're starting to see the patterns, the dark rhythms of manipulation, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. Every week, We uncover the hidden truths behind toxic relationships and dark psychology so you can reclaim your power and protect your mind. Chapter 3: The Dark Psychology Behind Manipulation. So, what fuels this relentless need to control? Narcissists don't just manipulate because they want to win. They do it because they have a fragile self behind their grandiose mask. Experts say narcissism stems from deep-seated insecurity and a need to regulate self-esteem externally. In other words, narcissists rely on other people's admiration to feel good about themselves. Without it, their fragile identity crumbles. This creates a dangerous dynamic. The narcissist projects their own emptiness onto others, demanding perfection and unending validation. Their manipulation tactics are like psychological weapons, advanced and ruthless. Let's break down some of the most chilling tools narcissists use. 1. Gaslighting. This is more than just lying. It's a systematic effort to distort your reality, making you doubt your memory, feelings, even your sanity. You're too sensitive, they say. That never happened. Over time, you begin to question your own mind. 2. Triangulation. Narcissists pit people against each other, creating jealousy, competition, and division. They use a third party to manipulate your emotions, making you feel insecure or overvalued depending on what serves their ego. 3. Silent treatment. One of the cruelest forms of control. By emotionally withdrawing, the narcissist punishes you, making you desperate for reconciliation on their terms. 4. Projection. The narcissist accuses you of the very faults and abusive behaviors they themselves exhibit. It's a mind-bending tactic that shifts blame and protects their fragile ego. All these tools feed into a web of psychological entrapment, keeping victims disoriented, doubting their worth, and trapped in a narrative controlled by the narcissist. Chapter 4: Real Stories. When manipulation turns deadly. This isn't just theory. The dark art of manipulation has destroyed lives, sometimes fatally. Consider the chilling case of Christina Grimmie, the singer tragically killed by a fan obsessed with control and possession. While not a classic narcissist victim story, it shows how twisted obsession and control can escalate. Or the story of Elaine and Terry, a couple whose relationship started with intense love bombing but evolved into a nightmare of gaslighting and emotional abuse. Elaine describes feeling like a ghost in my own life after years of manipulation, until she found the strength to break free. And then there's the infamous case of the narcissist next door, a man who manipulated not only his partner but an entire community, using triangulation and gaslighting to isolate them socially. When his web of lies unraveled, the fallout was devastating, tearing families apart. These stories reveal a common thread. Narcissistic manipulation is not just emotional abuse. It's a calculated form of psychological warfare that leaves deep, lasting scars. Chapter 5: How to Recognize and Escape the Trap. If you suspect you're caught in the narcissist's web, the first step is awareness. Understanding the tactics and patterns gives you back some of the power they stole. Here are some critical warning signs. You often feel confused, anxious, or like you're walking on eggshells. Your self-confidence has plummeted and you second-guess yourself constantly. You feel isolated, cut off from friends and family. You notice a cycle of intense idealization followed by harsh criticism and abandonment. You find yourself apologizing constantly, even when you don't know why. Escaping requires courage, boundary setting, and sometimes professional help. Psychologists recommend 1. Documenting interactions. Keep journals or recordings to validate your reality and counter gaslighting. 2. Building a support network. Reconnect with trusted friends and family who can remind you of your worth. 3. Setting firm boundaries. Asterisk learn to say no and protect yourself emotionally and physically. 4. Therapeutic support. Asterisk trauma bonds are powerful. And therapy, especially trauma-informed or cognitive behavioral therapy, can help dismantle the emotional dependency. 5. No contact. Asterisk when possible. Cutting off all communication is often the safest way to break the cycle. Remember, it's not your fault. Narcissistic abuse is designed to confuse and break you. But with knowledge and support, you can reclaim your life. Chapter 6. The moral question. Can narcissists change? Here's a question that haunts many. Can narcissists ever truly change? Can the mask come off without destruction? The truth is complicated. Research shows that narcissistic personality disorder is deeply ingrained and resistant to change. The very nature of narcissism involves denial and lack of insight, making genuine accountability rare. However, some narcissists who hit rock bottom and commit to therapy can make progress. Especially those with vulnerable narcissism, who experience deep shame and insecurity. But change requires a willingness to confront painful truths about themselves, consistent, long-term therapy, a sincere desire to develop empathy. For victims, the takeaway is clear. Don't wait for the narcissist to change. Protect your own mental health and well-being first. Outro. The dark art of manipulation is more than just a twisted game. It's a battle for your identity, your reality, your very soul. But knowledge is power. By understanding how narcissists trap their victims, you hold the key to unlocking the cage. If you or someone you love is caught in the web of manipulation, remember, you are not alone. You are not crazy. And you can break free. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the shadows of human nature. For more powerful stories, deep psychological insights, and tools to fight back against darkness, subscribe to Revenge Black Box with Mel. Together, we will expose the truth, reclaim our power, and rewrite the story. Until next time, stay vigilant, stay strong, and never let anyone steal your light.